All right, welcome back to Politics and Profits. There's a lot of angst, stress, a lot of emotional difficulty in the world today. It's always been there, obviously, but it seems to have ratcheted up, A, during COVID and since COVID, and B, let me add, during this new culture that we're in of online communication, online quote relationships. It just feels that angst and stress is more prevalent today than I can remember, but perhaps that's just me. And joining this time from Oklahoma is one of that states and this nation's leading health and wellness experts. He is coach and support for health, mental health, success, and well-being. Richard Wagaspak. Richard, welcome back. One of the things that you're working closely on, I know, is something called PISD, post-infidelity stress disorder. A lot of people can guess.
Yes,
Go ahead.
that's correct. Yeah, I'm also an LCSW, so I have a lot of clinical background. Yeah, Rick. Well, post-infidelity stress disorder is a derivative off of post-traumatic stress disorder, which, of course, we know that if you've been in a war or you have some kind of serious childhood abuse or many accidents, you'll have post-traumatic stress. But when your spouse is unfaithful and you come and discover it, it's a total shock to your system. And it's not like an accident that you can recover from in the hospital. You may spend a long time trying to recover your life, and there's a lot of choices to be made and a lot of processes to go through. It's almost like learning how to walk again because your life has been turned upside down. You don't know who found out about it. You start thinking about the past, about the claims the spouse made where he may have been gaslighting you, said you were crazy because you didn't believe him, or her, depending on which way it's going. So it's a serious disorder. It's not yet in any of the diagnostic manuals, but it's being circulated around with a lot of therapists today.
Yeah, and as I hear you just use an example of how it occurs, yeah, I can see how a spouse would be under tremendous stress disorder upon experiencing that, and it could destroy an entire family. What is your advice to someone who experienced it?
Well, even in accordance with the show that you're doing now, people sometimes have a hard time even maintaining their income because it's so devastating,
Yeah.
because it's so disruptive, because it may even involve people in their workplace. It can get very complicated, and so sometimes very careful decisions have to be made. But there's also medical issues. You have hormonal changes, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone can change radically. You go into fight and flight moods all the time. You're ruminating at night. You can't sleep. Your circadian rhythms change. You have fatigue and exhaustion when you can hardly make it past Wednesday, just trying to go on automatic pilot, but you know that you're not even sure who to talk to or how to process what's been going on. And it can be all consuming. It doesn't necessarily have to destroy a marriage. Getting out of the marriage isn't always the thing to do, but if you do decide to recover the marriage, sometimes both spouses are more motivated than ever to make things right, and they can get an even better bond than they had before. But of course, it's not just done easily. It takes a lot of help with good counseling and also, frankly, a little help from God as well.
And I would imagine if there are young children involved or teenagers involved in the family, that just adds to the pain.
Right. And then sometimes situations like this could involve family counseling or individual counseling with the children as well. I usually don't start there because you have to have some kind of solidity with the marriage or whatever plans they're going to make so that, whatever you say to the children isn't changed, again and again.
Yeah.
But that's exactly right, sadly.
if someone thinks they are going through this, if someone just went through it, one of our viewers right now, if it just happened to go through this, or if they know someone who has, and there's probably a lot of confusion and uncertainty in their minds, what is your advice to them?
Well, my first advice is to take care of yourself and to try to find all those contacts in your life that are positive and that you can trust. In other words, feeling safe is something that you need to try to use as a goal for yourself. So relationships that you don't feel as safe in, you might not want to spend quite as much time in those, and you might spend more time with your parents or with friends that you had in college or whatever until you can kind of gradually work your way into making some good decisions about your situation, because some decisions are usually not good decisions. But you do have to take care of your health. There's a tendency to have poor eating habits, health reversing behaviors, sometimes very destructive, impulsive decisions, maybe to run off with somebody else, or all these things can be very detrimental to your life. So number one, good self-care and responsible self-care, and to lower your expectations about what you need to accomplish. Just make sure you're doing the basics, and prayer can help a lot also.
All right, Richard Wagaspack. Bottom line is, folks, if you've experienced this, or if you know someone has experienced it, don't be ashamed of the angst and the stress that you may be feeling. Take it seriously. Take care of your health first, and surround yourselves with positive people. Is that about right?
Exactly, Rick. That's the way to do it. And I'm here to help. I'm even offering people from out of state to come here for a week if you've been faced with this, to get a good running start on trying to put things back together. You can stay in a hotel nearby, and then we can spend 1, 2, 3 hours a day for a week and get your best orientation and beginning of real healing started, and then you can go back home and finish with somebody there. Oklahoma City Airport, Amarillo Airport is also good to schedule the flight in, but also mostly to my Oklahoma State people. I can teleconference anywhere in the state of Oklahoma. I'm about 60 miles west of Oklahoma City, right off of I-40. So sometimes people don't mind driving even from Oklahoma City. Most of my patients come from Elk City, Clinton, which is where my office is located, or Weatherford, or Cordell.
Okay, and we're showing your web address across the bottom of the TV screen, so our viewers will find out how to contact you and reach out to you.
Yeah, I have an intake form and also a post-infidelity stress disorder form that you can fill out that I've recently developed that's pretty in-depth. It's almost like a standardized instrument that can help us get a grip on just how serious your situation is.
All right, Richard. Great information, not talked about at all. You're the first person I've ever heard bring it up, and it really piqued my interest, and I'm sure it's of interest to our viewers everywhere. Thank you for joining us.
God bless. Thank you.
All right, back with more after this.